Oh, wow. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about self awareness, self love, and things of that nature. I just want to thank you all for coming back and spending time with me. This is day two. All right. So let's go. So, what I want to talk about is, when we're dealing with mental health, there is a lot that goes on with it that we really don't understand. So, therefore, we miscompartmentalize our emotions. We put things in place where they don't belong because we're not really mindfully taking in the information that we're upset or that we're dealing with at the time. We're just reacting. So, I want to talk about some things that I feel are important to help you step into this new life of self love and self awareness and who you are and where you're going in life. So these are just some things that I want to talk about um, when it comes to those things. And it's like self awareness, self management, self love, social awareness, relationship awareness, things like that. Excuse me, I just shook the table. Okay. So, um, and another thing that I want to add to this is I'm also going to talk about, well, what do God have to say about these things that I'm speaking on? Okay. So for you who want to know that my messages are coming from a good place. And I'm not being judgmental, but I just wanted to share this to help you because even though we are partners with MTV on Mental Health Action Day, we take action as much as we can. Okay. We should be taking action on a daily basis, like being mindful throughout the day, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, like I do. I meditate in the AM in the rising, and then I meditate again before I go to bed at night. And I tell you, it helps me to be clear and focused. It helps me to stay mindful throughout the day, to be able to take care of the things that I need to take care of. So, in knowing that there are some things that I have to deal with and walk through myself, and these are the things that I want to walk through and share with you guys because listen, we're all going through something and life is, constantly changing. We're constantly evolving and we need to stay abreast. We need to be on our top game when the time comes. We need to be able to show up without, leaving a bitter taste in someone's mouth or having to go left on someone or starting an argument or it's just something negative. Okay. So if we follow some of these concepts and principles that I'm going to talk about today, this will help you to be more successful in your work life, your love life, your academic life, your social life, just life in general. Okay. So here are just a few. This is the starter. Okay. And it's like five things that I want to go over, but I'll just go over them and then I'll see what God has to say about these things. And then we'll get into some more in depth conversation about it. So, the first one is about self awareness. And what self awareness is, it involves understanding one's own emotions, thoughts, okay? And also your values, okay? And how do you um, influence your behavior and how it influences your behavior, excuse me. So it encourages and recognizes one's strengths and limitations, which fosters well grounded senses of confidence and purpose. Now, I wanted to look and see what God had to say about it. And one of the Bible scriptures that I came across was Romans 12:3. And it says, Paul is encouraging his readers to have a right and modest view of themselves. He said, to be aware if they hold themselves in too high a regard and too moderate their attitudes and their attentive behavior. So sometimes we just have to check ourselves and are we really aware of where we are in the moment? Or are we just focused on what's being said and what's being done? So, some of the important components to self awareness is having emotional awareness, recognizing and understanding one's own emotions. When you have an emotional conversation or an emotional situation happen, do you begin to get over emotional because you're emotional about one thing, but now you're feeling a certain kind of way? So it brings up other thoughts of other concepts or other situations, but then you incorporate that into the current emotion. So now your emotions are very high and you're just really emotional. Have you ever done that? Like, I know, like, sometimes I can, you know, stump my toe. And instead of going, ouch, oh, ow, I'll just sit there and I'll go, oh, well, that's not a good one. Because when I stump my toe, I just walk away. I just be like, okay, that happened for my greatest good and I'm done. But let's just say something like, someone got hurt or someone had a bad thought or I get some bad news, right? Um, I can at times incorporate the fact that I just lost my mom while I'm thinking about this sad situation over here. Has nothing to do with my mom, but I'm feeling a certain kind of way. So I'm not really understanding my emotions. Why did I bring my mom into this, although I miss her? Because I'm in a sad mode and now I'm incorporating, bringing other things into that emotion. So that's what I mean by having emotional awareness. Okay. So you have to learn to separate the two, have accurate self perception, knowing one's strengths and weaknesses. Are you aware of your strengths and your weaknesses? Are you aware that you have gone through some things that a lot of people couldn't have gone through? Only you could have gone through them and still be standing. Are you that person? Well, then walk in that. You know, are you the person that don't really cook, but your partner loves to eat home cooked meals? Are you in the kitchen struggling, or are you just saying, "Hey, babe, I don't cook, but I can take cooking lessons"? Know your strengths and your weaknesses because that's very important to having that self-awareness. Okay. And also self-confidence. Self-confidence is having a positive outlook on one's abilities. So what is it that you can do? What can you bring to the table? What is it that is already in your hand that you already know how to do? What is it that you love to do and it makes you feel good knowing that you can do those things? Have self-confidence in knowing that that is a positive outlook on life, and those aspects can actually help you grow to a better self-aware, to be more self-aware, and to be better in life in general. And the last component is identifying your personal values. Excuse me. Understanding what is important to oneself. What is important to you? Is it family? Is it making money? Is it hanging out with your children? Is it hanging out with friends? Is it going to work? What is important to you? And those are the key components. So self awareness helps all of us build the confidence, the self confidence to make informed choices and develop a sense of purpose. And through me building and knowing and just becoming more self aware, it has built my confidence. It has created a new sense of self because I understand that my situations don't determine my circumstances don't determine um, where I'm going in life, and I can look at things for what they are and keep moving. Okay, all right. So the next component is self management. Hmm. How are we managing ourselves? Self management, the definition is self management is the ability to regulate one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors effectively in different situations. It includes managing stress, controlling impulses, and motivating oneself to set and achieve goals. Now, how many of us struggle with setting goals and achieving them? How many of us struggle with setting goals? Excuse me, I keep rocking the table. Well, let me tell you something. You don't have to do that any longer. You don't have to struggle with setting goals and achieving them because sometimes you set goals and you make them too much. Well, we have to learn to break them down. But what I want to do is real quick is talk about what the Bible have to say about self-management. In Peter 1, 5, 6, and 8, it says, humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, and he may lift you up in due time. I'm going to say that again. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. Be alert and be of sober mind. Now, if you're not a sober mind, how could you really manage self? Like, how could you control the impulses if you're not in a sober mind? So I really like that verse. It really speaks to the things that I had went through in healing, is that just being able to, again, put my emotions where they need to go, and knowing that everything isn't a stressful situation unless I want it to be a stressful situation. So, emotional regulation are some of the key components to self management. Managing one's emotions in a healthy way. Okay. You can take deep breaths when you feel yourself getting to that stressful anxiety level. That usually works for me, just like taking some deep breaths, going into meditation, but emotionally regulating your emotions at that time in a healthy way, not punching a wall. That's not healthy because, one, you might get some stress out, but you're going to hurt your hand in the long run. So we have to be mindful when we're regulating our emotions. Okay. Stress management, employing strategies to cope with the stress. Are you picking up new ways to deal with stress, or are you still dealing with the stress the same old way you've always been dealing with them? Okay. Self discipline, controlling one's behaviors and actions. Are you flying off the handle when somebody cuts you off in line? Or, um, you know, are you having road rage in the middle of the day just because you're late, you're running late? You know, we have to learn to be disciplined with our emotions. It's very hard to get caught up in the daily activities where we kind of forget about our own emotions and we tap into others' emotions, and that can be a whole nother ball game. But if you begin to set goals, so goal setting is another key component. Establishing and striving towards personal and academical goals will help you stay focused. Like, okay, I know this is happening, I know this is going on, but I'm going to stay focused and focus on these goals at hand. Okay. Organizational skills. Are you organized? Is everything a mess around you? Is your bedroom a mess? Is your bathroom a mess? Can you walk in the front door without seeing clutter? Can you open up your closet and everything is, together in its place? Okay. Managing time and resources effectively. It really helps you to create those management skills. If you are not organized in any kind of way, um, there are ways to picking that up. Okay. And it's one day at a time, one room at a time, one meeting at a time, one interview at a time, one conversation at a time, and use your resources effectively. Okay. Now, the importance of self management, it helps you um, to be equipped with the skills that handles with all the challenges that we deal with and persevere through all the difficulties on a day-to-day basis, and also to help us achieve our personal intelligent business life academic goals, like whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. If you can lock these key things in and get this into your system, into your soul, and start living these things, then things will be better for you like they have been for me. And this is why I'm sharing this information, you guys. I just want you to know that. So the next thing is social awareness. Now, if you knew me when I was younger, I wasn't too social aware. I wasn't really socially aware, um, but I am now today. So let's talk about the definition of social awareness. Social awareness is the ability to understand and empathize with others, from diverse backgrounds and cultures. It involves recognizing social norms and understanding ethical behaviors. So it's like, is in when you're in Rome, you do as the Romans do. When you're in a restaurant, you eat with etiquette. You don't go smacking and putting your elbows on the table, things of that nature. So it's just having a social awareness. When you're in a movie, you're not talking loud on your cell phone on the speaker. You're in the movie. So it's just being aware of where you are. And what God had to say about it is, I found two scriptures, and I don't know how it really sounds like it aligns, but it aligned with me when I came up with this whole talk, which is Proverbs 27:17 says, "Iron sharpens iron." So a man sharpens in the countenance of his friend. So to me, that says you're going to be socially aware of the people that you hang around. You're going to be socially aware of, um, in general, the conversations that you're having. Because if it's not a strengthening or conductive criticism, or inspirational conversations, then you shouldn't be having them. And another one is Psalms 139:23, and it says, "Search me, God, and know my heart, and test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive ways in me, and lead me to the way everlasting." So when you find yourself being in a situation where you're getting off astray, you can always tap in the source to God and say, "Hey, help me. Get me back in track, God, where I need to be, so that I can be in alignment with the blessings and the gifts that you have for me in my life." Okay. And that's how you move forward and you begin to receive. So some of the key components to the social awareness is empathy, understanding and sharing the feelings of others. So giving people time to speak. Everyone has a right to say what they want to say, and everyone should have the courtesy to listen. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. Perceptive taking. Hmm. So seeing things from another's point of view. So from my perspective, I'm upset that you borrowed $20, but you didn't pay me back. Your perspective is, you borrowed the $20 because you were trying to get to a job interview. You got the job, but then you lost the job because your car couldn't work. So you couldn't get to work. So you couldn't pay me back. So if I look at it from your perspective, then I know why you haven't paid me back. Instead of thinking, "Oh, you're just being this ugly person and you're not paying me back." Right? So you have to look at it from their perspective, okay, from the other person's point of view. Respect the diversity, valuing different backgrounds and cultures. I have friends from different cultures, and we talk differently. And when I say we talk differently, we were even raised differently. In some households, they've experienced things that I've never experienced. In my household, I've experienced things they probably would never experience. I've eaten food that they've never experienced, and vice versa. So if you're out socially, and you just have to be mindful of the people that you're with and who you're with and who you are, and just be aware of that and know that it's okay that they're different, but be respectful of that. Okay. Recognizing social cues. That's a good one. Understanding social and ethical norms for behavior. So there are some things that are normal in different ethnic backgrounds, and there are some things that are not. Like, I know when I was growing up, all my girlfriends, we all called each other the B word. And the B word was more like today's "hey girlfriend, best friend," but the B word was the word that we chose. And if you were new to the school or new to the neighborhood, you weren't from where we were from, you didn't grow up like we did, you had a different background, and we messed around and said that to you, you could take it as an offense, but it was really not a bad thing. So you just have to be mindful of other people's behavior and what's their norm and what's not the norm for you. Okay. Social awareness can foster empathy and respect, but they're also critical for building positive relationships and contributing to the cohesiveness in the community. Because giving respect, we receive respect. Walking with respect, we're going to respect you off the top. Okay. And that's just how it goes. All right. And another component, the last component, you guys, is relationship skills. This is something that I had to work on through my healing process. That journey was a big one, but I wanted to go into it. I wanted to share with you guys, and I'm not going to take up too much of your time. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for joining me. And let me know what other topics you would like to talk about. But we're just taking the steps, and this is day 2. So the last thing that I want to talk about was relationship skills. The definition of relationships is relationship skills are the ability to establish and maintain healthy and rewarding relationships with diverse individuals and groups. These skills are involve clear communication, active listening, and conflict resolution. Again, everyone deserves to speak. Everyone deserves a say. Everyone has the right to sit there and listen to what you have to say. Everyone words are valid here, okay? And what the Bible had to say about it, I'm making short and simple. It's Ephesians 4:15, and it says, "Speak the truth in love." So, how could your communication not be more clear if you weren't speaking in love? And that's one of the things that, I'm big on is communicating in love. So here are some of the key components to relationship skills is communication, expressing oneself clearly and listening to others. Again, everyone deserves to be heard. What you have to say matter. I might not agree with what you have to say, but you have the right to get it out, and I should not overtalk you. Period. With love. Okay. Sometimes people have a problem with that. They just do. Um, Cooperation, working effectively with others. Do you get in there and got to be the head honcho every time you go to a new job? Are you always, that extra? Or do you allow everyone to bring their ideas and their resources to the project, the situation, the conversation, or you just bullying the whole conversation? Okay. And, I've dealt with that before, and I've even been on that side of trying to control a conversation before. So you can't do that. You have to be able to, you know, be effective in communication, conflict resolution, navigating disagreements constructively. Do you go to blows every time you have a great disagreement? You want to fight every time somebody don't agree with you, then you have a problem. And that is not good relationship skills. But if you know how to talk it out and say, I really don't agree with the way this is going, but for the sake of understanding where you're coming from and you understanding and knowing exactly where I'm coming from, can we just talk about this a little bit more? Let me see how you're feeling about the situation. Maybe I can share my feelings. Like, be clear and don't hold back, but don't get vulgar. Do it constructively, okay? Keep it constructive, keep it cute. So, relationship building, establishing and maintaining positive relationships. Again, everyone deserves to speak, you know. You respect people's boundaries. I think that's maintaining a positive relationship. Um, Not just popping up to someone's house because y'all are cool. Did you call first? Little things like that. So just maintaining positive relationships and establishing those bonds through barriers that we all have that sometimes we kind of lack on when we have good friends. So I think that's very important in relationships. And then seeking and offering help. recognizing when and how to give or seek support. So, are you the friend that hears a friend that's in need and then you go, girl, I heard that. I don't know what you're going to do. Or do you try and come up with a solution? Do you have friends that when they hear your situation and do they deem you as, oh my gosh, she's bad luck Betty? Or do they say, let me see how I can help you out with that. Let's try and figure it out. You know? So those are just some components that I feel that are very will be very effective once you put them in their right place. And the importance of relationship skills are essential for collaborating, teamwork, both in relationships and in future professional environments, work, business, school. It doesn't matter. These skills will help you in all sorts of relationships. So I hope they're working. And I know I said I had the last one, but I have one more. And it's actually responsible decision making. So when you're building these relationships and you're being mindful and you're managing your control, you're managing all this stuff, you still have to be responsible in your decision making. And the definition of that is its ability to make thoughtful, informed choices about a personal or social behavior. It includes evaluating the consequences of various actions and considering ethical standards. How many of y'all struggle with that? Let me take it right. Let me see. Okay. Because, baby, hey, look, I thank God today for today. Let's just put it like that, okay? Because what James 1:5 says is if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God who gives generously without reproach, and it will be given unto him. And then in Proverbs 2:6 it says, for the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. So get it together. Get it together. If you don't know, ask God. He'll tell you. Meditate on it. Ask him to give you the words to say. Ask him to give you the heart to know and understand. Okay? Let's see here. So those are just some of the things that God had to say about it. But let's jump into some of these key components of really getting to the nitty gritty of responsible decision making. So, identifying problems, recognizing situations that require decisions, recognizing that this is a problem, but to effectively get out of this situation, I'm going to have to make a decision to not go off the handle, to not, do the latter thing that most people would do in a non-conforming situation. Okay. And then analyzing the situation, understanding the context and the impact of the decision that you have made. Okay. Analyze that. Like, how what I reacted that way, or okay, I could have reacted this way, or maybe I shouldn't have said what I said. Just analyze the situation before reacting, okay? Kind of helps you to be proactive, not reactive. And solving problems, generating and elevating solutions. So when a problem occurs, let's say you have a flat tire, but you don't know how to change a flat, but you know you have the tire stuff in the trunk. Well, if you don't know how to change a flat, do you know how to get the equipment out the car, lift the hood up, and show people that you have the stuff that you need to change your tire so that they can come and help you? Or do you leave the stuff in the trunk and sit in the car and with your tail lights going for someone to help you? It's like you have to identify and then make a generate the solution for that, okay? And then elevating, evaluating the consequences, excuse me, evaluating your consequences, considering the potential outcome of the actions that you might take. Had you, if you, let's say your car, the tire goes flat, you sit in the car, your blinkers are on, no one sees you, boom, you get hit. Yeah, I'm on the side of the road. Yeah, but you were in the car and but let's say your tire goes flat and you pull all the stuff out the trunk. You have the trunk open, you have your hazards going, maybe the hazards don't work, but you have your hood up, you have your trunk out, you have your stuff on the ground. People know there's things going on around this car. That person may need some help. So it's all about the actions that you're going to take and considering the potential outcome from every action that you take. Sitting in the car, something bad could happen. No one even knows you're in there. Out the car with the things outside the car, people see you're in need, they can come and help. Okay. And the last thing is ethical responsibility, making choices based on ethical and moral standards. Are you just flying off the whim with, you know, are you, when you're making decisions and taking responsibility for your choices, are you being mindful before you take that action? Are you just reacting? And that's what this is all about, you guys, because I was in some situations where I didn't understand none of this. I was just existing, but I was healing, I was growing at the same time. But these were some of the things that helped me to grow. And I want you to take these components, these different ingredients and put them in your cake. Put them with your batter and make the best cake that you can make for yourself, okay? Because it's very important that we get in tune with oneself. We learn to respect others because we want respect, right? So how can you expect others to respect you if you're not respecting yourself or knowing where the respect should come from? We don't get respect, we earn respect. Okay? So, again, I just want to talk about some self love, some social, emotional, self worth, self awareness, and some things that I did to heal and get to this point. And I hope this helps, you guys. So, day 2, see y'all on day 3. Thank you so much.